In this video, we continue our discussion and we are going to proceed from the completion of model structure file. In our previous video, there was a minor error which I need to rectify. So in normal cell style, I missed to give a zero point 0.0 in this cell. So make sure that you are not making the similar mistake. We are going to save this file once again as file number 2.finmod BS element, balance sheet elements. So we have a new file which is named as 2.finmod BS element, balance sheet elements. We come to balance sheet. In this row number 5, we change the cell style to header. In cell number A5, we write balance sheet. We come to cell number C6. Now, basically, we will record all the grouped line items within the balance sheet. So all the values are going to be hard coded: receivables, inventory, in cell number B14 we have total asset. Now I want to have a cell style which gives me kind of a subtotal. When we look there, we have a total cell style, but we are going to customize a new cell style which will be named as subtotal. We come to format, we go to font, we change this to bold, we come to border and we select upper border. So just upper line, this one, and we press OK. And once again, OK. And when we go to cell style, we have a new cell style called as subtotal. I select this for this array from cell number B14 up to cell number P14. I come to cell number G14 and use a sum function. So sum array will be G6 is to G13. And this formula, some formula will be copied from cell number G14 to cell number P14. So completely, which will give me the total asset for all the respective financial year ending. Now I come to cell number C15 and I hard code payables, deferred revenues, other current liabilities, total debt, other non-current liabilities, non-controlling interests, other equity, share capital, and equity, retained earnings, in bracket it will be deficit. Now we come to cell number B24 and we write total liabilities and equity. I select this array from cell number B24 to P24 and change the cell style to subtotal. I come to cell number G24. The formula goes like sum and selecting the array from G15 to G23. So basically the total of liability, equities and liabilities. So in row number 24, we will have grouped total of liabilities and equities, and row number 14, we will have grouped total of total assets. Now this marks the end of step number 2, which is balance sheet elements. Now we progress to make a third file, which will be called as balance sheet error check. Now in this third file, what we will create is something called as check. Let me also give you a logic for this. In the three statement integration, we have balance sheet, we have income statement, and we have cash flow statement. In my video series of financial statement, you would have understood how these three statements are interconnected. The closing balance of income statement, which is PAT, flows through total equity, which is total equity section. The closing balance of cash and cash equivalents of CFS flows to total assets. So this will influence your total assets. And when we talk about our income statement and cash flow statement, either your PAT, EBIT, or EBITDA goes towards the starting line item for cash flow statement. So what do we find? We find that all these three statements are interconnected, and any change in income statement will have an impact in total equity. Why? Because the closing balance is getting connected to total equity. Closing balance of cash and cash equivalents is influencing the total assets. So that means any change in income statement or any change in cash flow statement will have an impact in balance sheet. So our check should work within, our check should be in focus of the balance sheet line items. Now, within this equation balance sheet, we have a very basic accounting equation, which is called as total asset is equals to total equity plus total liability. And that's what the exact check function which we are going to use. We come to this cell number G26 equals to asset minus total equity should be 0. And we say that these all cells in array number G26 to P26 should be 0. If the difference is 0, that means it's same, it's equal. So if there is any error in any reported line items, this difference will be not 0. So that means if the sum value of all the differences should also be 0. And if the sum value of all the differences are 0, that means there is no error. We can link this to something like this. Now, this is where we want to make sure that this should be 0, but where the dialog box is going to come. This is going to come in cell number E1. So we use a if function which says that if this is equals to 0, then this is going to be model is okay with two exclamations, comma. If not, this should give us trace error. Right? Right now, what does it say? It says model is okay. Why? Because the difference is 0 for all the line items. The moment I create any difference randomly using a one number or here, so what we see that the value is not 0. And immediately, what does it pops up? It pops up trace error. Now, we should also give a color coding to it, which is conditional formatting to this cell. So let's go to the conditional formatting. For me, I have created a shortcut key for this, which is Control 4 for me, or else if you don't have conditional formatting, you are going to use Alt H and L. And within this, we are going to find something called as highlight cell rules, and we'll go to text that contains. I go to text that contains, and I write model is okay and double exclamation. I select a green color, press it OK. And once again, I go to conditional formatting, enter a text, trace, error. Now, if there is no error, we find everything to be good. If there is no error, everything is good. Now, let's test this error. What if we are into a situation where there are two cells which have a same error? What do we find? There is an error in financial year 22 and there is an error in financial year 25 regrouping. But the total is coming out to be 0. Why is it so? Because of cancellation effect. And because of this cancellation effect, what does it says? Our check says model is okay, which is incorrect. So we need to resolve this formula. What can be done? We can use an absolute function. So the formula needs to be revised in cell number G26 to ABS G14 minus G24. And I can use Control R. And now, even if there is any cancellation effect which is happening, still this model, this error check is going to capture the error and inform the user or analyst or modeler that there is something an error. Right? Now, let's look at one more caveat to it. What if there is an error of 0.00001? Now, this minor immaterial difference is also creating a non-zero element, right? Now, these type of situations might arise, which might be irrelevant for us. Now, what we need to do, we don't want our error check to be so much precise that it also captures a difference of something like this. Even if the difference is so small, it gives us an error which is immaterial. So again, we need to make adjustment to the formula. We once again go to cell number G26. And what do? We create a round. So we have round, the number, and the number of digits is going to be 0. So in this case, if we have any difference of, let us say, 0.1, it is not going to impact our model. So anything which is 0.07. Now this is creating an impact. So maybe like 0.45 is going to create an impact, but not 0.44. So all the immaterial numbers has been eliminated. All the immaterial differences has been eliminated. This completes our error check step, and this is where we are going to stop. Thank you.